Namaste all. Today I'll talk a little about self-realization. First of all, what is self-realization? Self-realization means knowing your own true self. It is not that you are this eyes, this body, these hands, these legs. It is knowing your true self. For example, you sleep in nights and you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I had a very good sleep. If I ask you certain questions like, how did you have good sleep? Were you aware of that deep sleep? When did you had sleep? What is basically sleep? What did you sleep? You cannot answer these questions. So this is nothing but your true self. You can only experience it. Like for other example, when you're in the elevator, when suddenly it stops for a few seconds, you feel like something is coming out of you. Or when you feel hungry, you can feel it. This is nothing but your true self. And religions call it God. So you are there in everyone. You will become universal. So you'll be having magical powers. You'll be start having magical powers which you cannot display, but inherently you will get it. And you'll feel happy. Sometimes you'll feel happy when you help others, when you feed others. Because you are there in that person, you are the true self, and the true self is there in everyone. So you will start living like God. You will start living with that awareness every second in your life.
Namaste all. What she's talking about is the ocean of consciousness. I think you know about Lord Narayana or Lord Vishnu. He is presented in Sanatana Dharma as a sleeping god on the ocean. They call it like it's a milk ocean on which he is sleeping like this. Means the Vedas want to present the consciousness as the ocean. Means Lord Narayana himself is the ocean, the consciousness. If you listen to Narayana Suktam from the Yajurveda, you will be able to understand that his consciousness is spread everywhere, in and out, everywhere it is spread. Wherever you go, whatever the planet you visit, whatever the dark corners, everywhere the consciousness is spread. There is nowhere that the consciousness is not spread. That consciousness is like the vyaptam, means it is spread. That consciousness is what everybody merges in when they sleep. In the deep sleep, everyone, every positive person or a negative person, any damn person or any animal, when it sleeps, when it gets into the deep sleep, it basically it's like you have soap water balloons flowing on the water, on the soap water, on the soap water surface. In that balloon you will find the air, because of which those balloons are there like that, are bubbles. And when they log out, when the air logs out of the bubble, what happens? The air gets and merges into the water, totally the soap water. Into it gets merged. So in the same way, you can imagine that you are like that soap bubble, and when you get into the deep sleep, your consciousness gets logged out of your system and gets merged in the complete oceanic consciousness. It logs out of you, gets merged in the total ocean, and then again, because the consciousness has one apparatus called awareness. It has one apparatus, main apparatus called awareness. That awareness is tied to your body. That awareness, which is the main apparatus of the soul, of the consciousness, it pulls the consciousness back into you and then wakes you up. You will not wake up, it means you are dead. You are dead in the sleep. So in a way you can say, every day, every man and every animal are in a technical way, they are dying. They are dying and they are waking up because of the awareness of the body, which actually pulls the consciousness back into the body, because of which you are able to wake up and then continue your life. And because of the deep sleep, you are getting charged. It's like your hardware system, your body is getting charged. It's pulling the energy from the cosmic consciousness, and it's like mobile or any hardware device being charged, and then all the day it is used, and again in the night you charge it back. In the same way, the consciousness logs out of the system and then logs in back into the system because of the awareness. Now, between the consciousness and the hardware related, many more tools are there, such as 5 elements, the subtle side of the 5 elements, mind, intellect, and then beyond intellect you have ego, and then above the ego you have will, and you have the awareness. Awareness is the Jivatma. That is the one that is totally separating you from the oceanic consciousness. You once the consciousness comes into your body in the morning, and then you wake up with the awareness that I am this body, I am this, my name is so and so, and I have a couple of children, I work at so and so place, this is my family, this is where I live. And because of the association with this body, you become a limited awareness. You are basically a limited awareness. What is man? Man is basically a limited awareness. Now, what happens with the self-realization is that he ascends beyond all these levels. Like he goes beyond the mind, he goes beyond the intellect, he goes beyond the ego. He wins the ego. Ego will only die when you surrender to the Guru, when you serve to the holy feet of the Guru. This is not, I am saying, this is not the word of today. This has been continuing in India since the ancient days. Means unless you serve the holy feet of the Guru, your ego will never die. No matter what you do, no matter you do many more donations, whatever karmic work you do selflessly, even then the ego will not die. Because Guru is the key for you to get into the consciousness, for you to merge into the consciousness. Means he wakes up your awareness. He wakes up your limited awareness and makes it cross the mind, intellect, ego and all these, and then merges with the actual consciousness. So, the awareness is currently tied up with the body, mind, intellect. But the awareness tied to the actual consciousness of the ocean is the one that you have to realize, by which you will start living as a consciousness. Though you have the body, you will start living like consciousness. Currently I am talking to you from that, as a consciousness I am talking. I am not talking to you as the consciousness of this limited body, mind and all. I am talking to you as an oceanic consciousness. Because of which, when you see my video, you will start getting the vibrations. I am sure after seeing my video, you will definitely be doing the involuntary kriyas, and I am sure your kundalini in the backbone should be dancing somewhere in the chakras after seeing my video, because I am talking to you from that oceanic consciousness. Means me and the actual consciousness, whatever you call, whether you call him God or Bhagavan or Holy Ghost, whatever you call him, that is what the consciousness is, that is what I am. And even you are the same one. You are not less than me. You are not less than God. You are God yourself. But the problem and the play is all about the awareness. Man is totally aware about his own body, his own name, his own family, and he is aware of the objects around, such as some TV, some mobile, these all the objects. His awareness is totally tied to that body related objects. That's the reason why when some accident happens, when somebody dies, the awareness keeps on working around the body. It keeps on pinging the body to wake it up. But because it doesn't have the energy to wake it up, it keeps on hanging around the body for about 12 to 15 days. Because of which, because of that, in India they do some ceremonies and all after 12 days and 15 days, and with the Vedic mantras they tell the awareness that you are basically released from this body. You go away, look out for another body. You evolve further is what they tell in the form of Vedic mantras, and then the awareness will start understanding the actual intentions of the humans, and then it will start evolving as per the nature's directions. So what is self-realization is all about living as consciousness by eliminating the mind, intellect, and even will, and then ego, and also eliminating the awareness of the body. Any awareness that is related to the body, eliminating it. And it doesn't mean that I am telling all the people here to become self-realized. But everybody, every man on the earth is meant to be self-realized. Everybody is going through, whether he is spiritual or non-spiritual, everybody is going through that evolution. So what happens with that evolution is, when the consciousness keeps on increasing, means consciousness spreading. I am sure actually some people are very, very, some people would have very, very liberated minds, such as they want to help the world, they want to help people, they don't actually take care of themselves, but they are always after helping others and all these. Such people have the universal consciousness. It doesn't mean that they are self-realized, because they still carry so many traits, so many karmas associated with them. But such universal consciousness, what does it do is it expands the awareness of the consciousness, and he will start getting the prosperity in life. Prosperity doesn't mean only money. For us, prosperity means always money only. Prosperity means having positive mind, having better finances, having better health, having better relations, having better perception of the world, having the actual perception of the world. What is the perception of the world? Now, to you, perception means every other object that you see is different from you, isn't it? You see a TV, it is a different one. You see another person, he is a different person. You are not integrated with him. Most of the times, 99%, you are always disintegrated with him, with the other person. But I will tell you another situation where you feel the integration. Say, for example, somebody is suffering on the road. You are going by the road, and you feel pity about them. You feel you want to help them. Though you may not be able to help them, but at least that feeling would be there inside. Why is that feeling happening? Why that feeling is arising in you? Means, by truth, in reality, you are an integrated consciousness with all the people, all the animals, all the things also in the whole world. That is the integration that you feel at times only, not all the time. But when the self-realization happens, that consciousness of integration will always be there. With that consciousness, when you do things, they happen in a much powerful way. Maybe you may not be achieving it 100%. Even in the process of, even if you get into the process of achieving it, you will start flourishing. Whatever the work you do will be appraised by people, and the work itself speaks some language. It's not a dead work. It speaks. It carries some energy. So such wonderful things will happen when you get into the path of self-realization. It doesn't mean that you have to, in specific, get into the self-realization like hardcore spiritual seekers. Anybody who is living on the earth is actually by default in the process of knowing the self. But somebody is behind, somebody is in the front row, somebody is sitting in the middle row. But everyone on the earth is actually in the process of knowing the self as per the nature. So here, that's the reason why we have named this Om. Om is the actual, before Om, was there. Because of that ocean, we have named it Om. And you are also Om. You are Om, part of that ocean, because of which we have named this spiritual process as a Om spiritual process. This kid who has explained all these is her best feeling, whatever she could explain out of her. I hope you all would be able to understand and then move forward in actually knowing the self. And knowing the self does not mean that you have to leave your families, friends, and go to Himalayas. No. Knowing the self actually can happen while you wear the same jeans pants, the same wonderful t-shirts. You can even hang and go to the discos and the dance there again with the same consciousness. It's like you are in the mud, at the same time you are not stuck to the mud. That wonderful technology it is. So it means we do not expect nor we tell others to go to Himalayas or leave families and get into the path of self-realization. Self-realization has to be realized or has to be happening in the middle of the battlefield, right in the middle of the traffic that you are in. Means what is meant by battlefield and traffic is that right in the middle of the chaotic life that everybody goes through, like going to offices, dealing with the children, dealing with the wives or husbands, dealing with the relations, friends, and many more other problems. You take care of your cars, getting repaired, your houses, and you pay taxes. Through all these situations, you carry the right perception. When you have the right perception, the right things will manifest, right situations will manifest for you in the life so that you can deal with them in a very good way, not in a chaotic way, not in a disturbed way. Your life wouldn't be disturbed. So that way, this path will help you so that you can deal with the situations with the right perception. When you have the right perception, you will be able to deal with the situations and without any disturbed mind. You will understand the actual technology behind the situations. So that's how it is. I wish you all the best to all the friends here. I would rather call them friends. I also call you all Omis. I call you Omi means I cannot call you just simply Om, but in a friendly way I call you Omi. So all the Omis who is watching this video, my namaste to them, and have a wonderful, happy life.